I finally went fully no contact with my parents. I love them, but I don't think we ever really liked each other. They were controlling and judgmental, and honestly, just a lot to deal with. Their love was conditional, and if you weren't doing things or living the way they wanted, it cut you out of the family's life until you got back on track. They already had little access to my life, but one thing I did allow them access to was my streaming services. I have basically all of them and gave my parents the usernames and password. My parents did end up making a lot of their own accounts because somehow my accounts would end up being used by people I never gave access to. So I changed my password every so often to kick the outliers off, and they got tired of having to ask me. The only account they still used was their favorite, my Apple TV. I had personally logged into it on only one TV in their house because I didn't trust them with a password to my entire Apple account. I honestly rarely use my Apple TV. If it wasn't Ted Lasso or a movie I bought or rented, I didn't really care. But my parents were constantly on it. Once they even called me upset because I started watching one of my movies, and they had been watching it at the same time, and I guess it messed up and I started over. A month goes by, no contact, and I decide I want to watch one of my purchased movies. And what do I see? My parents, who apparently want nothing to do with me, are still enjoying their favorite shows on my account, not giving a damn. Blackbird, Loot, For All Mankind, Players, The Banker. My whole Up Next feed was filled up with their shows. I was pissed. The audacity of verbally abusing me to the point of a no contact, but still using my shit is astounding, honestly. So right there and then, I logged into my Apple account, changed the password twice, and logged out of all devices. The small chaos that ensued gives me giggles to this day. Apparently my mother was in the middle of the final of Loot when I logged her out, and season 3 of C was 2 days from being released. My dad's a huge fan. According to my inside source, they ranted for days about how petty of a bitch I am and how low I had to stoop to kick them up when they weren't doing anything wrong. How dare I do this to them unprovoked and out of the blue? What a horrible daughter I was to snatch away something so meaningless, something I didn't even use anyway. I don't know if they ended up making an account of their own or gave up. All I know is it makes me giggle every time I see a commercial for an Apple TV show, knowing I got the smallest of petty revenges.